What's funny is we pushed. Hey, everybody. Welcome to As Money Walks. I got my good friend Chris Gonzales here. We had an invite out to Mr. Crawford to join us today. He may pop in, he may not. We know Facebook gets mad if we don't come on time. So we decided we just better jump on and we'll do what we do. It's not a big thing.
We do what we do.
And if Bryan comes on, I'll add him on and we'd love to interview him. But I think he had something important to come up. Chris, I don't know what would be more important than talking to you and I.
Right? I mean, you figure that, with everything going on, I think we've been talking a little bit more, but it's such a different world and different things that's going on right now. I mean, and it's exciting. It is exciting. I'm busy. You're busy.
It's good. Busy. So I think what we'll do is me and Chris will, because we got a format on the questions that we ask. I think we'll just kind of interview each other a little bit. If Bryan pops on, great. If not, well, we got the best lender and the best realtor in the Albuquerque area on, so doesn't get much better
What
than
more
that.
can you ask?
All right, brother. Let's get started, shall we? With your favorite little intro.
I just still love that.
I know. You get all excited about that. And now Bryan missed that cool intro with the music and everything.
I know, right? I mean, well, at least it wasn't the other one that we had on there, but that's...
Hey, so Chris, you've been in the mortgage business a little bit. Mm-hmm. What's been your favorite part of, the mortgage world?
I think my favorite part was because I was in the restaurant industry for 22 years of my life.
Wow.
And I was dealing with the public all the time. And we had this thing when we were in the restaurant industry, we would have to touch tables. And what table touching was just making and building that relationship with the clients that are, with the guests that are coming into your establishment. And I love that. I love that part. I didn't love the whole part of being slammed and food going out late and different things. But what was so cool about the restaurant industry is, you built that relationship. And so I took that part of my life and I placed it into a lending aspect of it, going, I would never have thought of myself as a lender. And I've been doing this for a long time. When I started, I didn't know anything about mortgages, but I knew that I could talk to people and I could build that relationship. That was the biggest thing. I knew I could talk to people and build that relationship and build that trust. And so, And so
and people like you,
I don't know.
I was talking about Martha about that. Chris is likable. He's a nice guy. I like that.
And so the thing about it is I just started. I basically went to the library and learned about mortgages. I learned about,
So your favorite part is you like the relationship part.
The relationship. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that's the best part because I've made so many friends and, people coming from Hawaii. I got people coming from all over the different parts of the United States, California. I still do loans in Florida, South Carolina.
See, that's kind of fun when you see like people's kids growing up and, and if we're in it long enough, then their kids are using us and we're like the family real estate agent or mortgage lender. Right. I agree. You know what part I kind of like about it, though? I agree with you on the relationship, but especially in this market, I've liked seeing people create wealth. That really kind of gets me excited because most, a house is a big investment. Most people, that's your largest investment. And like seeing the wealth people have created, that's exciting. Because if they need to, when they retire, they sell it, they at least have something. You know what I mean? So that excites me. The little nerdy bit of it, but helping people create wealth. I like that.
Well, it's better than, you need to just kind of stick your money into some real estate opposed to sticking it into the marketplace where it's
or even just paying your house. Even if somebody's just making, if somebody's even just making their house payment for 30 years, and if nothing else, you got a paid for house at the end of this whole thing, you're not in a bad spot.
Yeah, what an accomplishment.
I agree. If nothing else, have a paid for house.
Yeah, absolutely.
How's the market? So for November, we're still crazy busy. Average price 298, I think. Our days on market, we were averaging 6 days on market, which is insane. That means, Chris, if you sell your house within 6 days, it's gone. We are up to like 20 days now, which is still absolutely insane.
Same.
How's the mortgage rates and everything? How's that market?
Gosh, they're at still its all-time low. And we're even thinking that, quite honestly, there's even been talks that maybe it might go a little bit lower. I don't know.
They're going to be paying us to take money.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand. I mean, it's getting a little bit more difficult as far as the lending aspect of it because there's so much uncertainty as far as jobs and so on and so forth. We'll go into that. But as far as the interest rates go, geez, this is a perfect time to take advantage of a fixed rate mortgage.
Yeah,
opposed to the compounded interest.
I heard you got somebody a refi under 3%. Somebody I know.
Yeah.
So good job on that.
It's exactly right. And then what's so crazy about it is I think that these people really have to really search the different lenders out there when they are searching for those rates.
Agreed.
Because there's a lot of there's a lot of flexibility on that. I would definitely do that and really go into the cost and everything like that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If anybody's thinking of refi, it's not for everybody. I'm at a 4% interest rate. I'm over 4. I'm not going to refi because I got so much paid down in my house. I've already got 10 years into it. It doesn't make financial
mathematically
sense. Worth it to me. I'm not going to do it. Even though I see 2.6 or 2.7, I'm like, dang, that's cheap. I don't want to start the clock again.
Going back to that, I mean, I had a client from the past and she calls me every year, Alex, every year at this time. And she is a 72-year-old lady. Okay. Every year she calls me out. She goes, Chris, rates are low. I need to refinance because she has an 8% interest rate, but she's been paying it since 1982.
She's almost done. Why bother?
She goes, I see them low. I go, look, I go, Diane, we've talked about this every year. You've already paid all the interest. There's no reason.
You're almost there. 2 more years. You're paid off.
I know. And she's like, okay, I just wanted to make sure with you. I'll call you next year. I'm like, okay.
That's kind of funny. Kind of going into that, I think that has been a big reason the real estate that shiny object, right? Percent interest rate, that is a thing attracts a lot of people. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the lockdowns a little bit, man. So I remember March, I think that's when we went lockdown and we just stopped. And I remember Gary Keller, the leader of Keller Williams and everybody, all right, so start saving money. We have no idea what's going to happen. We thought this was going to be the start of the crash and the meltdown that we had in 2008, 2009. And everybody was just kind of like holding their breath, right? You remember that?
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, it's over. And then April, flipping crazy busy. And it hasn't slowed down.
That was insane. I mean, you think about it. I mean, this is the biggest refi and purchase boom since, that we've never seen. I mean, lenders were going crazy. I mean, they were going, God, we need to increase our credit lines. We need to find, this money out there. We need to increase our warehouse lines and quick.
Absolutely. And then what we have now, kind of the downside of that, everybody's busy. So lenders, title, you actually manage well. I can't tell you're as busy as you are. You do a good job of that. But like the title people, even on their messages, we are experiencing an extremely high volume of business, pretty much telling us we're going to have crappy service, so prepare for it. So that's a little bit of the downside is I think services went down a little bit. Mm-hmm. And its inventory's down, which is still, it's frustrating for buyers. If you're under that 300,000 price point, which is a great price point, it's a little harder to find a house.
Yeah, I fully agree with that.
Because I know you got people probably pre-qualified that can't find a darn house.
And then they get discouraged.
Yes.
And that's the huge thing of trying to get them out of that discouraged, frame, going, you know what, there is going to be that perfect house. And you just have to have faith that we will find you that perfect home. But
and I get a lot of slack for this because when everybody wants the perfect home. Martha, my wife, she wanted the perfect husband, but she got me. So we gotta settle.
We gotta settle it.
So if you can get a 90% house, a 90% husband, that's not too bad.
Hey,
that's not too bad.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about. I don't want to get too political unless you want to. I don't really care. The lockdowns in Albuquerque. What are your? I've got a thought on it. I want to hear your thought first.
Small businesses. Our businesses are really being hurt and being affected by it, and it's sad because they're just struggling to pay their employees. They're taking out loans. I don't know if you watch. It's almost impossible to watch real news to fake news to what do you actually believe.
Agreed.
And that's the hardest thing. You go to social media, you go to Twitter, you Fox News, NBC, ABC, CNN, all the different types of news. And what is it? We don't know. I personally, but I think with the lockdowns, as you were saying, with the lockdowns in New Mexico, if you even look at one of the things that just came on today is that a place in Nob Hill put up a GoFundMe. And there's a place in Nob Hill that just put up a GoFundMe. They needed over $11,000 to pay their employees and to pay the payroll so they wouldn't go under. They're almost at that. If you go into, I believe it's Fox, and there's on their website, there's a GoFundMe for the Nob Hill for this one place out there. Wow. That the business is trying to pay their employees so they don't have to shut those doors down. And it's great how the community has come together to help out these local businesses, but they're losing money out there. And, if they're doing it correctly and they're doing it safe, and
it trickles down though. All of that is affecting our unemployment numbers. I think we got some of the highest unemployment numbers out there.
Mm-hmm.
With standpoint, look how busy we've been with these high. What is it going to look like when our unemployment numbers drop down? How much busier are we going to be? You know what I mean? Right. So I foresee things looking really good in the future. But right now, high unemployment, like my mom, Ruby, just said, waiting an hour and 20 minutes to go to Walmart. Walmart is a lot of fun, but I don't know if I'd wait an hour and 20 minutes.
And of course, the announcement today, basically the governor saying that we're going to a little bit higher, letting a little bit more people into the supermarkets, in different places like Target and stuff like that. So, and Home Depot and places like that, they're letting a little bit more people come in. They're not maxing it out, but they're letting a little bit more people come in.
Yeah, I think they're at 25% capacity now. So that'll be, instead of the 75 max, that's still ridiculous, but that's a little bit better. Yeah, but I think the other thing that we don't know the effect that we're going to have is, okay, if I'm a business and I'm looking at anywhere in the world or anywhere in the United States to relocate or to develop new business, I'm going to look at the states and see how they handled this whole epidemic, this pandemic. I'm going to look at that. And if I'm going to see a state like New Mexico who hasn't been very business friendly, who hasn't been, mindful of the long-term consequences, I'm going to be hesitant to put any money there in that state. When you look at other places like Florida, Texas, who've tried to keep business going as much as they can, where did Elon Musk move to? Right? You saw that, didn't you?
Yeah.
He moved to Texas.
I saw that. Texas. Mm-hmm.
Do you think his businesses are going to stay in California? over the next 5-10 years, do you think it's just no, they have not been very business friendly. So I think the decisions our governor's made now, it's going to affect us for a while. I mean, it doesn't, unfortunately, New Mexico hasn't been known to be very business friendly unless you're in the movie industry.
Right. And that's another thing too. I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine that does Better Call Saul.
Okay.
And and we were basically discussing when the next filming. So everything's kind of put on hold, in the New Mexico as far as filming goes.
So they're not even making any money right now.
Yeah. So that's kind of a big deal because that funds a lot out here.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It is a big tax
and you see some of the sitcoms out there with the masks and everything like that still going on, like CSI Miami or CSI whatever. Not CSI Miami.
You look like a guy who watches CSI Miami.
But you'll see some of the places still filming in certain areas, and then they had a big old script on Tom Cruise yelling at his staff for no social distancing and. I mean, there was a big old thing where he was sitting there yelling at him, you need to social distance, you need to do this, you need to do that. And they had them all on camera and everything. It was crazy. So Tom Cruise got mad. If Tom Cruise is getting mad, then everybody's getting mad.
He's a little crazy. If you remember I don't know if that's the barometer of what should be expected. But just like anything, just be kind. Be mindful and respectful of how everybody else is feeling. This is not over. It's still difficult. Mm-hmm. We can at least be respectful and mindful of one another. If somebody's like freaked out about it, no, I'm not going to come up, give them a hug. I get it. My biggest thing that's bothering me still is like when you meet a new client, what's the first thing we do? Just that handshake. I haven't shaken anybody's hand in 8 months. Mm-mm. It's just little things like that. It's going to take a while for us to. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, we're probably going to have to get the 6-foot pole with the rubber hand
to shake hands,
to handshake, to high five and stuff like. I saw it on The Voice. I don't know if you watch The Voice, but one of the guys is using one of those 6-foot hand things. To shake hands. And,
so next time I see you, you're going to have one of those 6-foot hands to high five everybody.
Yeah, I'm like going, hey!
That'd be kind of funny. Weird, kind of funny. All right.
Kind of weird.
What's your favorite restaurant in Albuquerque, Chris?
Oh, gosh.
You got to pick one, bro. Just one.
I got to pick one?
You got to do it.
I have mixed feelings on this, okay? So, this place is an Italian restaurant.
I didn't need to ask you such a controversial question.
I know. I was just like, okay, this place is an Italian restaurant over there by it's Paisanos. I don't know if anybody knows where Paisanos restaurant is, but they have their own sauce. They have their own pasta. You can get the sauce at Keller's. You can buy the sauce at Keller's. You can buy their pasta at Keller's. They all sell it, and it's the best sauce, and they have the best chicken piccata that you could ever imagine. That sauce is just out of this world.
Well, you're getting excited. Calm down.
Oh, yeah. I was, and I try to make it, and I can't, but I got the sauce. I would have brought the sauce if I knew that I got the sauce. I just bought the sauce. But you know what? Hold on one second. Don't go anywhere.
Where are you going?
No, don't go anywhere.
All right.
That's something that I want to.
Well, you got the sauce handy?
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Chris, when you're live, you just don't get up and go. All right. So since Chris won't ask me, I'll say my favorite restaurant is I'm going to go with Sadie's. Because whenever you just like crave this combination plate covered with chili and chips and salsa, I think it's hard to beat Sadie's for just a big plate of food. Right. They just slop it on there, cover it with chili. That's
a lot. That's a lot of stuff.
Oh, for $10, you can't eat it all.
Oh, you can't. You have to put it in a to-go box.
So I'm going with Sadie's.
Sadie's.
And you went with Paisiano's. What do you got?
So there's the Paisanos marinara, okay? And you, I mean, if you notice it's not watery. It really isn't watery. It's actually pretty.
Why do you have that handy?
Yeah, it's a marinara.
Hey, As Money Walks, sponsored by Passiano's Marinara Sauce.
See? Yeah, that's the deal. That's the deal. Up there by Eubank.
No, good to know. The wife loves Italian. Of course, my mom's food's much better. She commented.
Right?
It is. She does well. Absolutely. Thank you. Hey, Bryan, I understand stuff came up, man. You know, I get it. That is a little risk we take when we're doing live, but we are trying to feature, you know, people from different spots in the state. And after we do a few in the state, we're probably going to start focusing on like Arizona and Texas, because we have a lot of people going back and forth to there. So just a little shout out. Anybody in Farmington who would like to plug their own business and, you know, reach the Albuquerque market, send me or Chris a message. I'd love to help you out. I also want maybe somebody in Grants or Gallup, Farmington for sure, maybe Roswell, Hobbs area. And then I think we've probably covered the state, and then we'll move on to Arizona. But again, you know, sorry, Bryan couldn't make it. It happens. Chris, thank you. This was fun.
Thank you, Alex. This was fun.
It worked out okay.
Absolutely. And, next time I won't go get my marinara. Okay?
What was that, bro? We're live. Just take off. Then I got to talk. For Chris Gonzales, I'm Alex Viles, and this was As Money Walks.